No, I don't know.
Uh, we're going live.
We are going. We're
It
almost there.
seems like it has worked. Stream is healthy. We got two people here. Shout out in the chat if you're here. What's up,
Hey,
all the rat bastards out there and uh,
rat bastards.
uh shark smellers?
I don't know what our names for our fans are anymore, and I don't
We
care.
don't
We
we don't
change it all the
have we
time.
don't have names for them. They don't they if they're actual fans, they know who they are. What up? It's your boys. We got John Welsh, the smart man with the glasses.
Yes.
And we got me, the guy who's been confused for the last couple months of why no one wants to talk about Bruno. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
Well,
like the best
have you
character
do
in
you
part
not
five.
know?
What the fuck?
I know. Like literally, everyone. No one wants to talk about him.
Everyone wants to
No
avoid
one wants
talking
to
about
talk
Bruno.
about.
It's ridiculous.
No one want to talk about him so hard that song made it to like the top of the Billboard Top Hot 100.
Yeah, legit. It
Like
actually broke
literally,
records. It is the most
literally,
listened to Disney
millions of
song.
people do not want to talk about Bruno.
No one wants to talk about Bruno. What the fuck?
And I love him. I love him.
Bruno's wonderful. I don't know what the fuck. What's up,
Oh yeah.
Eric? How you doing? Uh, I'm a little sick, so forgive me if my energy is not at a 10 today like I normally try to be on these streams.
Yeah.
Uh, but, you
I
know,
myself am just coming down from dealing with my own allergies. It seems I've gotten so accustomed to the desert finally that the tree pollen here does in fact give me allergies now.
there you go. What's up, Vedic? How you doing? Vedic? That's how you pronounce it? It's a V, right? I'm
I
not
hope so.
blind and that's not a Y. Uh, so today, I mean, you saw the title, you saw the description, you know what we're about. We're a channel that does a lot of things, but we like talking about the JoJos.
Our
That's
main theme has always been the JoJos.
that's what people pay to see. You know what I mean? Except it's free. So what are you paying
Yeah,
for?
we aren't
Uh,
we aren't partnered with YouTube, so
no, we're not partnered with you, and we're never gonna be. Yo yo.
yo.
Okay, good. I did not pronounce your name wrong. Good to hear. I don't like. I think I made this very clear on this channel. I don't like mispronouncing people's names. I'm very bad with names. So
It feels bad. It makes you feel like a
yeah,
dick.
I really it just it makes me feel like I'm disrespecting you if I can't pronounce your name correctly. So I do my best to make sure. Um, but yeah, so it's been a hot minute since we've had any JoJos to talk about.
Yeah, because I mean, Part 8, JoJoLion finally it
Yeah, that
wrapped.
ended back in August.
And
Uh,
the hot news on there's been multiple hot newses on
there's
the
a whole
presses.
three big old JoJo's things that got released since we haven't been doing things.
Yeah,
So
just
I think
don't
we
know,
should
she just
go.
got plopped into the world like a baby.
Yeah, I think we should go over them in order from least important to most important. Obviously
Okay,
ending on the anime. Uh,
yeah,
so there have been two JoJo spin-offs that have dropped, manga spin-offs I should clarify, in the past couple months. One of them was unofficial, and
yeah,
I could see why.
as it was very.
Oh
How would you
boy,
want to? How would
it's
you want to put it, John? You explained it to me in such a concise way.
uh the Japanese have a word for what this is called. It's ecchi. It's
Yeah, it
porn
translates roughly
like.
to soft pervert, something like that. Not full
So
pervert, not hentai,
so
but
I've completely forgot what it's the title of this one shot is. Um, but basically, it's set in the middle of Stone Ocean, and Poochie gives a stand to a artist, and her stand is called Bad Romance. And what it does is once it attaches itself to another person, it selects a target, single target stand, similar to Highway to Hell in many ways. Once it has a target, any drawing that the user does affects the target, and she draws porn.
yeah,
So
very. I mean, we've come a long way from literally like Jolene existing in spite of Jotaro's, asexuality and such. To I don't think Araki would ever actually allow something like that, despite how
Well,
despite how
I mean, admittedly, Stone Ocean literally opens with her getting caught masturbating by a guard. Like, that's literally thing one that happens in part 6.
I mean, it's platonic masturbation, It's not like
How do you
anything.
platonically masturbate?
It's just something that
I'm
happens.
all for platonic love, but like, okay.
It
Yes,
can happen.
actually,
We don't know.
I mean, yeah, kind of the way that Kakyoin, in his very first appearance, draws Jotaro and then somehow slices his ankle.
Cuts his ankles off.
I don't.
Makes him fall downstairs because he got rid of his legs.
Yeah. But yeah. So besides the fact that it's, well, you can get Jolene Ahegao in like a quick Google search. The art is actually pretty good in this one shot. It's very expressive,
Mhm.
and it mimics Araki style pretty well. It's just basically what it is. It's a doujin that got a lot of attention because it's softcore and not hardcore. If you want to look up Jolene porn, there's plenty of it.
Rule 34 exists for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
We're not saying necessarily, but it exists. The internet is the internet.
The internet is being what it is. However, I will say, as much as we've been talking about it being basically softcore porn, there is a twist in that the user just falls in love with Jolene and starts drawing her as an angel and making all this religious pictures with Jolene in it. So she stops orgasming and starts just feeling really good.
It's kind of like the reverse of what went on with Poochie. Exactly. He goes from celibate priest to wanting to be Dio's boyfriend.
and probably the part that really seals the deal for me and makes me really want to actually promote this this very weird comic is that at the end Poochie walks in and sees what she's drawing. It's that's blasphemy, and rips the stand out of her head. That's so funny. I love that. But yeah, that's I think that was in the JoJo fandom community for I don't know, a week, and half of it was people complaining about it, half of it was people jerking off to it. And I assure you, more than half of the people who are complaining about it are fucking hypocrites. No.
I mean, no. It's anime fan service. JoJo is surprisingly light on gratuitous fan service, but
it's
I mean,
not heavy on that.
Anime. Come on, guys. Do you remember? Literally that entire episode in part 3 where a woman's bra expands because she has metal inside of it? That's not how it works. They just wanted the scene to make her jubblies go. And also that was also the episode where Avdol and Joseph just had a fun little wrestling match.
Yeah, gay. And this is not forgetting the entire fight with Sed, where Polnareff gets turned into a little boy and he gets picked up by a random woman who just wants to give him a bath, and she decides to just take off her clothes too.
And she scrubs him down
and then gets turned into a fetus.
Yeah, no, again, I repeat, Polnareff and Fetus Lady should have become a canonical couple. They were so good together. They were better together than Arena and Jonathan were. I'm sorry. Anyways.
And yes, Eric, I see you down there. Yeah, I'm waiting for the Purple Haze feedback anime too. I realize that Studio David is doing a lot. JoJo's is still going. They're still doing Fire Force, and I assume they have other projects in the wings too. But can we get Purple Haze feedback as a movie? And if we do, can we get it in the States? Anime movies are becoming more popular in the States. All I'm saying is people have realized that there's a market for that shit. I mean, the Demon Slayer movie did exceptionally well at the box office.
Oh yeah, it did.
I assure you, a JoJo's movie of Purple Haze feedback would bring similar results. I
Everyone wants to
guarantee
see
it.
Fugo again. He got kicked out halfway through the
Yeah.
season. They want to see him again.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the unofficial JoJo's spin-off manga. There is an official spin-off manga that has been going. I believe it's still only 2 issues in. And
This one I was not seeing coming. Even for JoJo, I was not seeing this one
yeah.
coming.
What's up, Bonker man? How you doing? And I didn't say hi to Jelly. Jelly, how you doing? Uh yeah, that is a pairing I would not have called, not in a million
Whole
years.
Horse and Josuke
Whole Horse
with
and Josuke.
Kakyoin's sister in Morio.
Cousin.
Cousin, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's his cousin. Um so so yeah, the so if you saw the thumbnail, if you've been reading that manga, which is called Crazy Diamond's Demonic Heartbreak, something like that. CDDH is what I know it as. Uh yeah, that's the very first in the very first issue, Whole Horse is just walking down the street and almost gets run over by a car and is saved by none other than Josuke. Because so
And they team up together. They finally become the Stardust Crusaders that Araki always wanted.
I guess I'll start at the beginning. I think the first, yes, the entire horse is back, the whole thing. I think the opening bits of the first issue is really what's like sold the whole thing on me, because it guarantees us that yes, Whole Horse is the main character. He is our protagonist. We are following him and his story, and it's really about him overcoming his PTSD. Like, he has all these memories about Dio, and they're really like fucking him up. Like, he's paranoid. He is overly cautious.
I'm
That
not
thing
gonna
that
lie.
happened.
I'm not gonna lie. I understand his paranoia.
Oh,
If you look
absolutely.
at just the one scene where Whole Horse goes to report his failure to Dio, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
like quiet, dark room, and Dio's using the world to like kind of move without being seen, is I can totally get that.
yeah. It's terrifying. He also has gained a little bit of OCD from that time where he accidentally shot himself in the head because he read the wrong time. So now he walks
Yeah,
around with
'cause
3 watches and constantly checks them, constantly double and triple checks every clock around him.
it's
And
further proof
I love that.
that Oingo and Boingo are the worst thing. They actually harm people. Like good, decent people in search of redemption are their lives are ruined by Oingo and Boingo.
If I may say though, if I can knock one thing against this writer who's been absolutely brilliant so far, apparently Whole Horse's PTSD about Dio is so fucking bad that he is remembering scenes he wasn't there for. So so like I said, at the end of issue 1, a car comes speeding down towards him, and it's you hitting people along the side of on the sidewalk, and he turns and he sees it and he freezes, and he literally thinks to himself that he swears he hears someone saying the sidewalk is wide enough, which is, if you remember part 3, is the scene where Dio is in the car with the U.S. senator he runs into and makes him drive on the sidewalk to chase after Joseph. A scene which Whole Horse has nothing to do with. So
Whole Horse was not in that. Whole Horse was not
as far as
there.
I'm aware, he was in the hospital during that scene. So I'm pretty sure he was still shot in the face after that. So I don't.
Pretty sure he was still recovering.
I don't know how the fuck he remembered that line that he wasn't there for. But hey, he does. So yeah, the plot for Whole Horse is, or at least what is motivating him. So apparently, Pet Shop was trained by a human, and that human trained another bird, a parrot. I forgot its name. I think it said its name already, but I forgot it. So presumably the parrot has a stand as well, and I think we've already seen what it looks like and what it can kind of do. But basically, the parrot has gone missing, and they believe it's been taken to a town in Japan called Morio. You might have heard of it.
Yeah.
Uh, and so he decides he's going to go find the bird, because obviously a wild bird just running around with a stand is probably not a good thing. Uh, so he goes to see all his old, all the old henchmen of Dio's that are still alive, and they're all hanging out in Cairo still, uh, protected by my main man Kenny G and tenor sax, because someone realized how good tenor sax could possibly be. They're all just chilling inside his imaginary rooms.
And,
It's
and
great.
that's it. They literally have nothing else to do.
Yeah, they live down there. Apparently Mariah's there. Apparently her and Oingo is a thing.
Ew.
It's
I don't like
implied.
that.
I don't know.
I don't
Uh,
like that.
but basically the whole thing is just to reiterate that it's not just Whole Horse that has issues because of Dio. Literally everyone who's survived has like a lot of problems because of that, and they're all just
Yeah, it's
trying to stick
almost like
together.
Dio is an evil person who leaves those in the
Almost.
service
Oh,
scarred for
weird,
life.
right?
Almost.
And
Almost.
Poochie turned out okay. What's with the
Yeah, that's, relatively speaking, I guess.
retcons? But yeah, they're down there. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, because I haven't reread it for today. I probably should have. But basically, he wanted to go talk to Boingo so he could check on Thoth to see if he can get the bird. And Boingo decides to go with him because if Thoth tells you to do something, you should probably just fucking do it.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to Japan together. Somewhere in between them landing in Japan and Whole Horse arriving in Morio, Boingo disappears.
Good.
Like off screen, just disappears. But also drops Thoth. And of all the people to come around and find it, Kakyoin's cousin, who just happened to be there visiting his grave, because Kakyoin lived in Morio, and
That's an interesting retcon. I remember telling you that. I did not
to
think. I
correct
thought he was
some
supposed
things
to
that I've heard a lot of people say recently, one of my friends being one of them, and I literally could not understand how the fuck he came to this conclusion. No, this is new. This is a new thing. Jotaro does not come to Morio to visit Kakyoin's grave at the start of part 4. That's not true. He came because he wanted to tell Josuke he was in the old man's will. Like, that's his only reasoning. He stayed because of
I
Stan
distinctly
shit.
remember that. I distinctly
He
that
says
being the
that
reason.
outright. He never once mentions a grave. Could he do that off screen? Possibly. However, I am of the mind that that was his first time stepping in Morio, because otherwise, because there's this whole thing where Stan users attract other Stan users, and that town is full of fucking Stan users. Why didn't he run into Josuke earlier?
No. I think I can fix this for you. The town was only full of stand users because the arrows hadn't been sold there yet. So there were literally zero stand users except for
Josuke, because he's had his stand his whole life.
Kira, and maybe Josuke and let's see. No, the brothers also the hand. Our boy Okuyasu.
Well, the brothers brought the thing in there, so they had
Yeah,
just
so they already
they were
have
recent.
theirs.
But yeah, but they're
No. So yeah, even my joke excuse isn't holding up to scrutiny.
But yeah, so like I said, Whole Horse is just sort of walking down the street, and almost gets hit by a car, because it seems like the parrot stand ability is that it can control people by putting ticker tape inside them.
I don't even know what that means.
Like I know what I'm saying, but like I don't know how to describe it, because this is old technology that no one uses anymore. Just if you don't know what a ticker tape is, look it up. That's all I can say. But it just seems like it comes out, and apparently when it's used on a person, their eyes turn like, they look like wiffle balls. They look like how
Pong balls?
Moody Blues
Ah,
does. So that's what like got me really excited. Like, what the fuck, Moody Blues? Because I saw the eyes. I was like, that's weird, but no, uh, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Apparently, the whole story is set in 1999. Uh, Probably after the events of Part 4.
yeah, I'd hope so.
Although,
I'd hope so because
yeah,
I don't. I don't think it would make much sense. No one
no,
would. Why wouldn't Josuke have brought up Whole Horse then? If
yeah,
I
no.
don't know.
But however, I will say that Josuke is the only character from Part 4 that has appeared so far in the 2 chapters. So there's
Okay,
that.
well, I mean, okay.
Hopefully some other characters will show up eventually. That'd just be
I
fun.
hope they go. I hope they stop by like the Italian restaurant.
Oh yeah,
They get
absolutely,
to and Whole Horse gets to talk about all the Italian women he had mistresses with or
absolutely.
something.
This is good shit right there. So he almost gets hit by a car, but he's saved by Josuke, who uh almost kills Whole Horse immediately because, well, you know the drill. His hair is silly.
Hair is silly.
Although I would say that I don't think Whole Horse like directly insulted his hair. I just think he's like, that's an odd choice of hairstyle, and like he really just took offense to
Yeah,
that.
I think Josuke just is very.
He's very
He's got a
defensive.
very weak ego
Yeah.
about his hair. So
Yeah,
literally,
yeah.
even looking at it funny makes him feel.
Yeah. So then they're like kind of talking. You know, Josuke's all like into him because he's dressed as a cowboy, and that's kind of fucking. You don't see that very often.
Hmm.
And then he goes and heals everybody up who's been hit by this car, fixes the cars, and everyone wakes up, and they all just start yelling at them. Like, it's weird. Like, I don't know. The scene gets cut short a little bit where they just sort of run away.
Hmm.
But basically everyone's like, that's demon power, whatever the fuck it is you did. That's
No, it's
crazy.
not human to stand.
Stando. Uh, so Whole Horse, he runs away because, well, that's what he does. But Josuke catches up to him, and they just sort of like, it's a very reluctant team up on Whole Horse's
Hmm.
angle. Josuke just wants to hang out with him because he thinks the dude is cool. Like, that's just what I'm gathering. He's like, you're a cowboy. That's pretty neat. You want to be friends? And Horse is like, no, stay the fuck away from me, you weirdo. But also he's terrified of Crazy Diamond because, well, it's a
Who
big
wouldn't be?
humanoid stand that does the punchy punchies real fast. Gee, I wonder who that reminds him of.
Yeah, if he's got uh,
I mean,
what's
it
the
looks
word?
pretty similar to the world as is, so
Yeah, even with the helmet thing.
yeah.
So like his PTSD. I mean,
Yeah, it probably doesn't look good.
probably not doing too well for him.
But anyway, Josuke continues to bother Whole Horse. Meanwhile, Kakuen's cousin, I forgot her name. I'm sorry. I think she said
What
it
is it?
once in the whole 2 chapters she was in. So I forgot it. But she's just walking along and gets catcalled by some thugs in a car. And reading from Thoth, she learns that both Whole Horse and Josuke are nearby. And by doing exactly what Thoth says, Josuke just beats the shit out of those thugs because they make fun of his hair. So,
Of course, of course.
and that is where the story is so far. That is all that's happened in only, well, it's only 2 chapters, and
I
they're
mean,
not particularly long.
I appreciate that since Thoth is like a neutral stand, you don't need Boingo there to actually use him.
Yeah,
Um,
I was hearing a lot of like rumors in some meme groups and some discussion groups that I'm part of. Like, just does she have a stand because she can read Thoth? And I'm just like, but that one guy that died in the bus accident when they were introducing Thoth, like he read Thoth, and he didn't have a stand. Probably.
um, Am I misremembering? Because I remember when you first told me about how this uh is how this little spin-off was going. That the cousin was in Cairo when Kakyoin died, and he like died right in front of her or something. Was I
Oh no,
misremembering that? Or?
I was thinking about the way I phrased that. That came out wrong. No, she was present when Dio like I couldn't think of a good word to describe it, which is probably why this got miscommunicated. But when Dio like recruited Kakyoin,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
oh,
she
okay.
saw that happen,
So
and for some
before the
reason
Stardust
Dio
Crusade. Okay.
just didn't notice her or just didn't care because she's still alive. Uh, but she's like, he went off with some strange man, and then she went back to Japan without him, and then weeks later he winds up dead in Cairo.
Okay.
Like I don't know why she didn't mention anything.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I know.
I assume
I thought she was like there
no, she
when
didn't see
when
that.
he was like fucking donutted.
No, she no. I assume part of her character and part of her growth through this story is going to be she feels guilty for her cousin's death. She feels like she's responsible because I don't know, she didn't say anything, she didn't report it or something. I don't know. That's just a theory, and you know me, I hate theories. Uh,
Especially the game theory kind.
we don't we don't talk about MatPat, even though we seem to do that a lot.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not that I talk about him. It's that I torture you with like pictures of thumbnails he comes up with.
Yeah, I still haven't unsubscribed to his fucking channel.
Oh, maybe I'll stop sending you pictures if you do that.
Oh boy. Anyway, so I'm really liking this spinoff so far. I think it's a lot of fun. I think the art is fantastic. It is reminiscent of Iraqi style, but also it is the artist's own thing. So it just looks so good. It's got everything I could really want. And I hope it continues. And I hope it goes well. Uh, yeah. So good luck with that. I can't think of anything else I wanted to say about that. Um,
Yeah. Well, we'll see where it goes. It's only
yeah.
two
It's
chapters
only
in.
been
We'll
two
see how
chapters
far.
out of. I don't think they've announced how many chapters it's supposed to be. So we'll see. Yeah, Stone Ocean.
Stone Ocean, and yeah,
Stone
you were
Ocean.
right. Actually, the dub is they just
Yeah,
flat
they
popped it
just
onto Netflix.
they just
While we
slapped the
talk.
dub on there. I didn't tell anyone. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't actually like normally like when a dubbed episode or a dub is about to drop. Usually the voice actors go on Twitter and are like, "Hey, by the way, I am playing this character in the dub of XYZ." Like, I didn't see that until like 2 weeks after Part 6 dropped on Netflix.
yeah.
And like I checked the
I
dates
didn't
when
see
those
them all.
tweets happened. They were not 2 weeks old
I don't
when I saw
follow
them.
anyone on Twitter, so I don't even pay attention to that, and I just genuinely didn't know that it was
Yeah.
happening. I did know, no, but I did, and this will probably, depending on the things we talk about later in the stream,
Yeah.
I noticed that the voice actress for Jolene, I think Kira Buckland is her name.
Right.
Uh, I kind of gushed to you slightly because I knew her when she used to do Newgrounds stuff, and like
Yes.
it was kind of weird for me for like a genuine like voice actor role to be going to these people on the internet. We'll talk about that kind of stuff later. But yeah,
Yeah.
speaking of the performance, pretty good. It's for the dub at least. That's kind of how I imagined Jolene to talk. Kind of like she's very feminine, but also very like, "Shut up, Dad. It's not a phase, Dad. You abandoned me." Like she embraces. I know there's a better way to put it, but I'm gonna put it as the daddy issues of Jolene. Is
She has
it's
daddy
a
issues.
good.
I don't know how else to put it. It's just true.
Yeah, how else can you put it? Like she literally goes off and dates a guy who is an absolute
Oh god.
prick because dad isn't around to like
Yeah.
warn her about the kinds of guys she should be avoiding. Then she ends up in jail to defend his honor or like just at least to cover up for him. And then that doesn't go too well. He breaks up.
Yeah.
I've got to say, can I say, I am very put off both in this and in part 5. It's weird to say. I feel like way too many of the characters in the dub, at least. I don't know about the sub. That'll be your call. But in the dub, it kind of feels like way too many of the characters have two distinct masculine or feminine voices to be voicing some of these characters for me. Like I feel like they should be finding more people with like a kind of like NB kind of range because so many of these characters are very gender non-conforming to the point
Yes.
that I'm pretty sure the pink-haired like totally not a redo of of the boss from part 5
Uh,
was a woman to start off with. I've been seeing art like official looking like side profile art
oh yeah,
of
yeah.
him.
Honestly, his first appearance in the manga was definitely had breasts.
Yeah, and then just nope, only a dude now. Dude now. It's like
Because I mean, a lot of people like to theorize a lot of bullshit, but I'll be honest. Araki changed his mind on the fly way more than a lot of other writers do, or at least it's more obvious when he changes his mind. Because he doesn't mind because he can roll the story with that.
mm,
But yeah, in his initial drawings, honestly, is definitely female.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have an opinion on if the voices in the sub or rather the official Japanese fit better, or
Uh,
if you have an
I
opinion on that
mean,
at all. I don't.
because my one issue is I have not really watched the dub of Part 6. I know we've been through all of JoJo's together dubbed. I'm I'm a little against watching the Part 6 dub only because I feel like if I have to hear someone say Stone Ocean every time her stand pops out, like I'll go insane. Because I
Mhm.
think I've made this very clear on this channel. I very much disagree with the idea of changing Stone Free's name to Stone Ocean because it just collides so hard with why she named it that in story. Like, I get it. It's a song. We gotta fucking change it so we don't get sued. I get it. Copyright system is bullshit. But for fuck's sake, you couldn't come up with anything closer to free. Just any
They
synonym.
have they have they have completely different syllables, ocean and
And
free. Like
like,
you're adding
yeah,
an entire syllable
like
she has
you're
to
just
deal with.
making your job harder first and foremost, and you're also doing a disservice to the narrative. Like it just didn't make sense at all to change that. And I was hoping, very much hoping, that they would come up with something better for the anime because obviously when you're just printing the words on a subtitle in a video game or in like promotional material, like fine, that's easy as shit. Like like matching that up to the lip flaps to make it look like it sounds that way, like that's so much harder. Stone Freedom, yeah, come on, like that's
Rock
easier. I mean,
Liberty.
that's like a little too close, but still, I think you could probably say that it's better. Uh, so yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch the dub. I want to get a sample of the dub just to like hear it. Um, yeah, thank you, Bonker Man. Uh,
I will say,
I've
um,
heard Poochie's voice, and I think in Japanese he sounds a lot better.
okay, yeah, I won't begrudge you that because I'll be honest, a lot of the JoJo uh, antagonist voice actors sound better in Japanese. Like I'll be honest, I I actually don't like as much as I like Hiro the character. I don't think his speech, his like I
It's
want a
not as good
quiet
in
life
English.
speech, it's not as good. It's the intimidation of the deeper voice
Mm-hmm.
honestly does do wonders. I will say though, Foo Fighters. I love her in the anime. She is everything I wanted her to be. I remember
She's
saying when
best
we
character.
first did that guessing video that I loved her when you described what the
Mm-hmm.
gist of it was. Everything I wanted and more.
She's the best girl.
Best character. I love her.
Oh my god,
Ah,
she is just. I mean, in many sense, she is the comic relief character, uh, but she's so delightful and wholesome that it doesn't matter. Like she's fucking great.
mm.
Uh, yes, I am looking forward to Flaccid Pancakes whenever the second dump on Netflix is gonna happen. Because that will be in the next one. Flaccid Pancakes is coming.
Very soon. He's on his way.
He's gonna be here. Part anime when? good name to be asking that question, Mr. Wonder of You. Part 8 anime, by my calculations, 2029. That's when that'll start. By my calculations. Maybe 2030. Just an estimate. Cause yeah, what's up, Wonder? Because Steel Ball Run's gonna take a while to animate. Animating horses is miserable, and they're gonna want to put their A game on that because every single JoJo's fan is like fucking. They're waiting for that. That is the thing that they're waiting for, so they have to put 1,000% on that.
I honestly, here's a question: do you think they would 3D animate the horses to make
Normally I'd say yes, but I think this is too high profile. I think if they're going to 3D animate the horses, they're going to turn the whole thing 3D.
You have to remember, this entire part has like, you know, the golden ratio as like a actual plot point.
That's true.
So it's like they have to commit to like the artistry. Yep. I honestly feel.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see if they pull it off, how they pull that off. But
one review, there's a JoJo's Battle Royale out in Japan right now. Will we ever get it? Probably not.
No, unlikely. We are lucky to have the fighting games, basically.
Yeah, we really are. Yeah. I am of the mind that if they do 3D for the horses, they're probably gonna do 3D for basically the whole show. Like all the character models.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because here's the thing: they did do the horses in that one, Over Heaven, I think it is the video game. Like so.
Yes.
If they need to, they could probably try and animate the whole thing, kind of like the opening from part 1, just to kind of like the Berserker style.
There would be a percentage of people that would like that. I don't know how big.
Yeah, I feel like if they're gonna have to debate between like what is the quickest way to get it out and financially most viable way versus, I'm sure in a vacuum, in like the world of just plain creativity, they would love to like Disney it and hand draw the horses like the whole way through. That is just not viable.
It is.
No one's going to do that.
It is a pain in the ass to draw and animate horses. So I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be a while because Stone Ocean is gonna be coming out basically the rest of this year. I don't know what their release schedule is. I don't even know when the fuck the next batch on Netflix is gonna drop. I'm pretty sure it's airing in Japan right now. Pretty sure being the key word.
Also, I wonder if you this part, my least favorite stand is going to come out, Survivor, when it finally it's roll in.
This part has already dropped my least favorite stand, which is Manhattan Transfer. So here's the thing: the anime has its magical property where it can turn a lot of stands that I didn't really care for in the manga into something that I kind of liked. For example, when reading the manga, I really didn't care for the jumping jack flash fight. I thought it was really slow paced and the characters kind of jumping around all over the place, and it didn't have a good flow to it, and the power itself was kind of like The anime fixed all of my problems with Jumping Jack Flash, and it made Jumping Jack Flash look really cool. I really like the character of Long Ranger. He's a lot of fun. Just animating characters can sometimes really improve them. Manhattan Transfer is a piece of shit. It just fucking floats there. It's so fucking stupid looking. And every part of it that's slightly cool was all a dream. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Every part of it that you remember didn't actually happen.
Nope.
No. When it actually came down to Jangali A gonna fucking shoot Jotaro in the face, he just walks up to him with a gun. Just, that's what he does. He doesn't shoot him from around the corner. He just walks up to him. So, fuck. I hate Manhattan Transfer. I think it's so
You
dumb.
just it's cemented at this point. Unless JoJo Land brings out something like
Yeah.
abysmal, it's gonna
Unless
be
JoJo Land's like, this stand is a piece of poo. It just is a piece of poo. Like, I can't think of something
now.
worse.
Here's one. Here's one. A stand that grants you ownership of a picture that tells you own another person's stand.
Oh no.
It's an
No.
NFT
Not the
stand.
NFT stand. Not
No,
not
but here's the
that.
best part. It's just the user who gets the NFT saying they own
Yeah.
someone else's stand. It's not like they switch out the stand
Yeah, no.
for the NFT. It says, I
Oh,
have
it's
the
so dumb.
receipt saying I own your stand. You control it? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Punch.
Ed.
Well done. Wonder View Sea Moon is your least favorite? Wow. That's yeah, that is controversial. I don't, no comment. If you don't like Sea Moon, go ahead. You don't have to like Sea Moon.
It is what it is. I mean, I won't. I can technically understand it in that usually the second slash third form of a multi-tiered antagonist is usually the least. You know.
Yeah.
It's the third form Frieza and like the semi perfect Cell rather. So I could get it. I could understand the
Yeah.
having a
It's
standard
that
of dislike.
it's strong, but it's really that halfway point to getting uh made in heaven. So like, you know, it's like,
Mhm.
okay, that's cool and all, but that's not the ultimate stand, right? Like I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
exactly. It's the anticipation. It is quite literally that phenomenon where people who win silver are more unhappy with people
Yeah.
than people who win bronze.
Oh yeah,
That kind of thing.
absolutely. That's a Seinfeld joke. I've heard that one.
Yep. Yep.
A stand that lets you bypass copyright laws? No, that's broken as shit. That's overpowered, man.
Oh, if only. If only.
It turns Prince into a nice person. Oops. I fucking went there. Uh yeah, so I gotta ask John, because you didn't read the manga. How are you liking Stone Ocean so far?
I mean, so far, I mean, yeah, no, I'm liking it all right. I'm I'm tempering my hopes because you forewarned me that Jolene was not like best main protagonist or like that Iraqi.
Yeah.
You said you respected him for trying something new with Jolene, but you're not going to pretend like she is like she's nowhere near Josuke Jotaro levels of
No,
likability.
she's not.
But so far, again, I'm seeing what you're meaning. The Joe stars have always had a sort of moral ambivalence to them, I'll say, that I found a bit charming, and I usually do find interesting in protagonists slash hero characters to have like a bit of a. It's not what I'm preparing Johnny to be, which is complete moral like deficit.
I
But
just give a shit about anything.
I can still see her like having a. I appreciate how we're seeing he's like one of those damaged, biker kid characters from a lot of those late '90s, early
Oh yeah.
2000s, where people are suddenly like, "Oh yeah, people from broken homes, like that's the real reason we have like adolescent criminals." Not really, but this does a much better job of presenting them as good people who just have had it rough and kind of like they got a rough exterior but a nice interior.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing that. Um, so far the area in the prison, I kind of honestly do feel JoJo works better when it's in a confined space. Like Morio, that was really great. Like too much of, as much as I love it, too much of Stardust Crusaders was coincidence with how many
Yeah.
times it was only because Dio had a hit on these Stardust Crusaders that I believe for a second at every episode, every couple days, they were running into a new stand user.
Yeah.
So having a prison filled with stand users, that's good. I can get behind that. Um, the stand users we've seen so far are they're not I think Gwess so far has been my favorite antagonistic stand user.
Oh, boy, you don't like Thunder McCool? McQueen?
Thunder McQueen is the only Lightning McQueen rather is the only person who I allow to have nick any name like that. Um, yeah, no, not quite into. These aren't the criminal types that I want in a game in a show. You know, I these aren't quite as dastardly as I'd imagine convicted criminals being.
They're a
Like
lot
even to that,
sadder.
yeah, they are, and to a degree, even like Gwess. Like I could, if you could, like sit me down and tell me, okay, this character, she likes to shrink people and put them into dead animals
Mhm.
and like use them as pets and dolls. Like I could think that and go like, huh, okay, so I can see like a Hannibal Lecter unhinged villain. She isn't even really that. She's just like weird, and I'm kind of a little. Part of me is kind of a little upset. I don't think she becomes a member of Jolene's group, like the Joestar group, this time around, because she was so weird. I actually thought she was a little charming. I won't lie. I
She's a lot of
actually
fun.
kind of she was fun. I'm kind of upset that I know she's apparently Jolene's roommate. I've never heard of her before. Like even some of the characters we don't like the little baseball boy, Mister Enchanto.
Emporio.
That's not his name. Or yes, I at least have seen slash heard of them.
Yeah.
Even if I don't know their relevance to the plot. Like I've heard of the Green Baby, and I barely know its relevance to the plot, and I'm pretty sure that's the MacGuffin. But yeah, Gwess, I've heard nothing about, so I would not be surprised if she never shows up again. So, but I mean, yeah, so far like it's pretty standard fare for JoJo, I'd say, from what I've experienced in the past. I'm again tempering my hopes because I don't want to get disappointed if the ball is dropped before.
Yeah, if I'm remembering the ending correctly, it is a bit of a letdown. Uh, it's just there's so much build up, it can't possibly meet the expectations of that build up, which is unfortunate. But I, writing and especially writing endings to a story is a lot of is very hard. So
Mhm.
it at least made thematic sense the way he ended it. Similarly to how I feel like the Game of Thrones ending is made thematic sense, uh, even if it's not particularly a satisfying ending.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
and I
mean, you
don't
can
and I
at
don't
least
th- and I don't
also.
think the ending of Stone Ocean is that bad. Like I think it's better than that for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
I think. Look, a lot of things are better than the Game of Thrones ending. But
many things,
I
many
think we
many
also
things.
can have the I guess a silver lining in that it's the end to the part, not the end of JoJo, because we do have two parts. One that is an absolute fan favorite immediately after this one,
Mhm.
and we got JoJoLion, which was weird, but in a fun way from start to finish, from what I've heard.
Oh, absolutely. I love me some JoJoLion, some JoJoLion. No idea why it
JoJoLion.
was called that, but hey, whatever.
I
Uh,
For some reason, for the longest time, people were getting in debates that I was looking online over whether it's pronounced JoJoLion or JoJoLion, and I was looking
yeah,
at it all the time. And I'm just like, does it matter? Why do you nerds care?
I was calling it JoJoLion until literally the last chapter when all of a sudden there wasn't a space. There was a space in there and it was JoJo Lion because in that big old speech that Yasuo gives at the very end.
Yeah,
I'm just like, okay. It doesn't help me that
okay,
much,
I'm
but okay.
calling it JoJoLion now, I guess.
It's JoJo Lion. I don't know. Maybe he was the lion the whole time. The lions were the friends that we made along the way. Um, I am very happy with especially the animation in part 6. I think it is phenomenal looking. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. Uh, and it has really increased my love for quite a few stands. Except Manhattan Transfer. Go fuck yourself.
Manhattan Transfer because
Uh,
you hate Manhattan Transfer.
it is really rekindled my love for Whitesnake. Uh, giving me a newfound appreciation for Jumping Jack Flash. Still, one of my favorite bits in all of JoJo is the fight with Marilyn Manson. That game of catch that goes absolutely off the fucking rails. I love that bit. I think it's so clever. I think it is so well written. It is just a joy to watch. Marilyn Manson is such a weird stand. He just
Oh boy,
it just
it's a weird
stands there.
stand. And, like, it's so weird to think that like some of these stands were like they were named with the intention of like I'm a fan of this musician, and now it's like 20 years later, and it's like that's we're actually kind of happy to be changing those names for copyright reasons.
Yeah, the Marilyn Manson one that came at a bad time.
Yeah, it was a very
Oopsie.
bad time.
Oh, what do they call Marilyn Manson in the dub? I actually don't know.
Let me double check.
Because obviously they can't call it Marilyn Manson. There's like no way.
Yeah, let's see. Let me double check what love the
Haman or
Choosers like
Spin?
helmet thing.
That's a hard question. I
Okay,
think
it's Mary Lynn Manson. They put
Mary Lynn Manson. Okay, that's
Mary space
all
Lynn
right. That's
space
cheating.
Manson.
That's fucking cheating, guys. That's no. I get that it's literally one episode that you have to do that on, but come on, come the fuck on. No,
Mary Lynn.
I don't accept that. But you could find something better for Ocean. Some synonym
Yeah,
of
no, they
free,
couldn't.
but Mary Lynn. God damn it.
Can I just say I really love Marishkun's like helmet hair style, whatever she's got going
Yeah,
on there.
right?
That's hilarious to
It's
me.
literally connected at the bottom. I love that. No, there's just a guy that wears just like a German pike helmet in the prison. What's his
I
name?
mean, it's
D&G? Yeah, D&G.
yeah, D&G. I mean, they got to continue the legacy of Joseph's friend. I can't. Darn it! Why can I not remember his name? He's got the hair, got the guile hair. Come on, the German.
Oh,
German with guile
Stroheim.
hair.
Stroheim.
Oheim, yes. Okay, there it is. German shine. She's the greatest in the world.
uh, so we've actually got a couple of questions in the chat here. We'll start with the one that was been sitting there the longest. One of you asked favorite part 8 stand, and I think ultimately I have to pick Soft and Wet. I think that's my favorite of all the like Joestar stands. I just love its design. I love its combination of power of being able to steal things and also blow things up. I just really love Soft and
It's
Wet.
also all over the place, given what I've been hearing about it. Everyone should take this with a grain of salt because, again, I have not read through part 8 yet. This is just going off of our what's the word?
Just
Our guessing
just
games.
discussing them.
Yeah, our guessing games where like I'm given a general description and like of the power and whatnot. I am a rock is my favorite part 8 stand.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I approve. I am a rock. I like that thing.
Yeah.
Big question: Haman or Spin? I don't know. That changes by the fucking day for me. It depends on what I'm reading at the moment.
I'm personally of the opinion Haman is better, just because I know for a fact I have slight OCD. Like I'm just owning up to that. I take medications for it. I would become too obsessed with getting like spinning. Like if you've ever seen me play video games or you've ever seen me like having to 100% completionist something,
Yeah.
like I literally the one thing I hated about Assassin's Creed 3 was it required online connection in order to get like the final fire barrel upgrades.
Right.
So I technically had the most powerful jackdaw possible, except for the fire barrels, and so it was always 98%, not 100%. So if I was not getting the golden ratio on the spin every single time, I would lose my mind. So Haman, just for my own mental health, I would use just because, and also because I feel like spin that's mostly used for assassination, as far as I'm aware. On the thing, Haman's got way more utility uses.
I think Haman is probably like better in that it is like it can be used for basically everything. Spin can be used for basically everything, but like it's clear that it's really fucking difficult to master. However, the ending of part 8 has moved my flag a little bit closer to spin, if only because the spinning bubbles and an attack that does not exist is glorious. I love that shit. That's awesome. My attack could kill you because it does not exist. That is the ending of that fight is actually like it's amazing. I love how that fight ends. So I'll lean a little bit closer to spin because of that. But no disrespect for Hamon.
Yeah.
A stand that gets you angry for no reason. I think I've been yelling about Manhattan Transfer for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that just part of my personality at this point that I hate Manhattan Transfer?
Yeah, that's what you're now known for among the JoJo community. Is
I hope
being
so.
the guy
If I could be known for anything amongst the JoJo community, it'd be the guy who absolutely fucking despises Manhattan Transfer. If that's the only thing I'm known for, like I'm good. I'll take it. You?
Okay. New question. Euro Zappelli, smash or pass?
Smash Gyro Spelly. Easy question.
Pass.
Not even a question.
Grills. The grills
okay.
grills take me out of it, man.
All right, that's fair. Have you seen? Because I've been bringing this up a lot because I thought it was just so. Because I watched the whole thing and I thought it was really weird. Did you see Markiplier smash or pass all of Pokemon?
I saw a thumbnail for that and I decided I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole anytime.
Watch the shortened version of all the smashes. It gets weird. He smashed Arbok. Arbok. Arbok.
I mean,
why?
I mean, there's a lot of space in it. It's very big. It's like 11 feet long. So like
it's a long
you can
snake, but like
I don't know.
Is it going up you? Is that? I don't want to think about that actually. So yeah, I don't know. Do we have anything else to really say about parts? Oh, the opening. Oh my god, the fucking opening is so good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I still am.
There's one thing that has progressively gotten better with JoJo's, like on the animation side, it's the music.
Oh my god!
Like the JoLion's theme completely breaks Giorno's out of the water.
Yes, I mean Giorno's theme is amazing, but holy fuck, JoLion's theme is so good. The opening is my third favorite now. Like it just jumped the list.
Yeah,
like
easy.
on listening number 2, it was like, all right, this is up there. This is so fucking good. Like every single episode I have watched, I've just jammed with that music. I listen to it all the time. I sing all the English parts. Like I can't help myself. It's that song is just such a fucking bop. Oh man. Ending theme song. Ending theme not as good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean I don't dislike it, but like I think it's and I think that the ending song needs to be something calmer to like, okay, take a breath in between episodes. But like I was skipping over this one, like it was just not. It wasn't that good. Probably near the bottom of my rankings of all of them. This is an interesting battle royale we've got here. Who would win in a fight? Manhattan Transfer, The Lock, or Survivor? Now, here's the problem. None of those stands actually can do damage.
I would suggest the lock.
The user needs to do something.
It could make you feel guilty about what Survivor made you do. The Manhattan Transfer would not do anything, so the lock would win.
Here's my question though: would the lock's guilt override Survivor's bloodlust?
Yeah, again, I think it should. Like, there's the thing. Like, it's the thing. Like, when you're in the moment, yeah, you're overtaken by your passions and whatever. Like, we all make mistakes in the heat of passion, Jimbo. So, like, I think that. But like, when the guilt starts setting in, like, there's been statistics like people who went out to go loot they saw themselves on television and they felt immensely guilty about seeing what they did, so they brought the stuff they looted back. So like there's I think that like once the bloodlust has continued for long enough, eventually the guilt will take over. Like you can't sustain bloodlust indefinite.
I I will say this because the thing is, the lock needs a single target in order to make someone feel guilty. It can be used as a lie detector as just on its own in that one episode. Uh, but it can only do a single target. Survivor affects everyone in the room. So if we're talking 3 stand users, and Survivor gets activated, if the lock gets put on Survivor's stand user, the lock wins.
Mhm.
If he doesn't get that on time, Survivor wins.
And Manhattan
Like,
Transfer never wins.
all right, I'll give it this. I'll give you this. If he doesn't get if the lock doesn't go off on I don't remember the Survivor stand user's name. If the lock doesn't get put on them, John Gallier is always packing, so John Gallier will just shoot everyone. so Manhattan Transfer doesn't win because he didn't do jack shit. John Gallier wins because he shoots everyone. Who wins, Wonder of You or Love Train?
Uh,
I don't think. No, I actually don't have to think about this. Wonder of You wins automatically because
yeah.
the catastrophe is not. It's impersonal. It doesn't care. It just happens to you. Like the stand itself doesn't actually do anything to you. It just brings catastrophe. It could only be defeated by an attack that literally did not exist. So its effect couldn't attack the user. So basically, it's just bouncing catastrophe off each other until someone dies. Like that's just literally just what happens. I think that honestly, thinking about that might be a draw. I think that might just kill both of them.
Immovable object meets an unstoppable force type thing.
I really think at the end of that fight, I think no one wins. Everyone dies.
Yeah.
I think that might drop the fucking moon on the earth. Moonfall in theaters now. See your local Lexus dealer. What?
I'm just. It reminded me Moonfall was a movie that premiered this year, and I was just like,
who here's seen Moonfall? I've seen Moonfall.
No, I saw Moonfall a few years ago when I played Majora's Mask for the first time.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say when you saw the day after tomorrow.
No, I refuse. I refuse to acknowledge that Moonfall is based on a movie. It's based off of that moon, Majora's Mask.
It would have been a better movie.
Yeah, it would have. Yes, if it had like the creepy face coming down at you, that would have been a way better horror movie.
I would have liked that a lot more. Yeah. So I think that's everything about part 6. I wish we could say more, but fucking thing's not out. They only had 12 episodes. I don't think we're getting another until March. I think that's what I heard. I did not confirm that source, so I don't really know.
We cannot know for certain.
Yeah, but hopefully it'll be good. When it does come back, there will be a new opening.
Yes,
because it did do the tradition
we'll
where
see if they can do
the sound
better,
effects
or
happen
if they will
during the
ruin
opening. Which I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I very much appreciate that tradition is still going. But yeah, so see more of that. We'll get Flaccid Pancake. Yeah, Flaccid Pancake.
Hey, finally get to see that. I hope they release like a behind the scenes thing, like bloopers thing, where they just show how many times they laugh trying to yell out.
Because they have to say Flaccid Pancake
over and over.
I would love that. Netflix, get on that shit. Wonder Review, that is the same question you asked earlier. I don't know what the fuck Manhattan Transfer Requiem would be. No. The answer is no, because not all of them are going to get the arrow.
Yeah, the answer is it would just be the same. Just more of the same.
The answer is John Gallier gets his sight back. That's what he gets. He no longer needs his stand. Anyway, excuse me. Ah, sorry, my nose was dripping. I don't want that on camera.
What was that?
My nose was just dripping. I don't want that on camera. That's gross. Excuse me. So, yeah, that catches us all up in all the JoJo stuff that's been going on.
JoJo news.
Uh, yeah, but there's other things in life other than JoJo's. I know that's hard to believe.
I got some potential JoJo adjacent news. Like it's not JoJo specifically, but there's like a tangential relation.
Yeah.
I think I've brought this up before, but I mean, Jotaro's English dub voice actor, Mr. Matthew Mercer, has a podcast he do. They had some major news recently. I don't know if you've heard of this. I don't know how much the overlap between JoJo and Critical Role is, either here or in the world. But
shockingly little. Like it's weird.
Yeah, I know, which is kind of weird. I imagine there'd be fans, like at least fan boys, girls, whatever, like going to one side or the other once they figure out the relation. But
yeah.
Guess not. But nevertheless, there was big news in that little fandom. If you want me to start on that, or
no, please.
Okay, well, do you even know like what I'm referencing, or do I need to give context to?
So if I believe I know what you're referring to, Critical Role's first campaign got an animated series based on it.
Yeah, well, yes. Technically, it's a very storied event, what happened there. See, originally, it wasn't supposed to be a show. It was just supposed to be like a 2-episode animated special for the fans. Because like they'd successfully done a whole lot of things. They had Dark Horse comics that were doing well. They like their campaign setting is now official a D&D module. So they decided we'll do an animation. Like we'll give the fans like a small little adventure from before the stream started. So give back for all the attention and all the stuff they gave us. The original price tag was $750, and they got past that within 12 hours. And then
nice.
On the first announcement video, or rather the second announcement video, where they were going to talk about the specifics of the thing, they made $4 million during the live stream. Yeah, it was. I can't confirm this. People were saying that it was the quickest any Kickstarter had been financed over $1 million.
Jesus.
The final tally, the final bill when their 45-day thing was up was $16 million. We were struggling to think up of stretch goals to continue because literally during that live stream, the $4 million mark, that was all of their stretch goals completely met. So they decided to up the ante, and rather than a 2-episode pre-stream little thing, they were going to do that and then also animate the Briarwood arc, possibly the most famous story arc from campaign 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then during the process of that, Amazon picked them up, and so since then they've now been labeling it as Legends of Vox Machina Season 1, implying that before they could barely get any studios to get them through the door to animate a D&D podcast. It's entirely possible the entirety of the first campaign will just be a television series now.
Wow.
On Amazon Prime. So, big news there, and I'm a fan of the podcast. I decided to throw my hat in and watch the legend itself, and I got some opinions here and there. Well, I'll start with the positives. Animation is great. They're using the same studio that made Young Justice, a lot of that faux anime style Western animation like Voltron, stuff like that. So it's more of that, but they don't just do the 2D animation stuff. I really enjoy how unnatural creatures are animated in 3D to kind of give them a bit more of a uncanny valley type feel to them. They usually, when you're seeing an adaptation from a book to a TV/movie, whatever, you kind of have to deal with a lot of time issues. You have to fit a lot into a very linear fashion. Uh, they get around that because the D&D games are actually the longer form version of telling the story, and they can just cut through because um, in D&D, each round of combat is supposed to be like 6 seconds. Even with veteran players, one round of combat in real time will take 5 minutes. So like cutting down combat and like making it a lot snappier and quicker does wonders.
Mm-hmm.
And they also a couple of things were changed for the better. They completely dropped one character who was played by a problem player who was kicked off the show like 25 episodes in or something like that. They completely ignore certain like side quests that or like plot threads that went nowhere because it's D&D. There's a lot of improvisation.
Yeah.
You can't always account for that kind of stuff. They also grant more like subplots or like scenes to build up things that end up developing later on. I remember distinctly the character Keyleth and Percy have a very good couple scenes where they kind of build up on a friendship because they end up having a good friendship later on in the campaign that wasn't really set up very well in the starts because it was literally just the players were good friends, so the two of them just naturally just started as friends. This one's setting up the friendship a bit better. So yeah, all of that kind of stuff, really good stuff. They got some really talented people behind this, talented voice actors like crazy. They got David Tennant in this to voice one of the big characters. So I mean, like it wasn't just voice actors. Main villain, Delilah Briarwood, is played by Azula. Is played by Grey Delisle Griffin, and so she knocks it out of the park. She's basically playing an older Azula. It's really great, kind of fun. There are some criticisms. It's as much as I do enjoy it, you can't kind of ignore criticism. Vulgarity. I'm not a prude. And I'm not going to pretend like this show was like clean and whatever in the podcast, what have you. There is a lot of unnecessary swearing and a lot of unnecessary sex jokes throughout the series, and I don't know why. I remember, I think it was episode 1 or 2, I actually kind of cringed when in an official meeting in front of the emperor of the whole world, a non-player character, like an NPC in an official meeting is just like, all right, who the fuck are these idiots? And I'm just thinking to myself, that doesn't really fit in what a official meeting should probably be. I feel like someone should tell them to control themselves and like that. But for some reason, it's not the case. Literally, like, everyone swears. Everyone makes a sex joke kind of stuff. And yeah, that kind of happens, but I didn't think it happened all that often. It feels like every other sentence someone is saying fuck or shit. And I went back actually to see some clips of the old thing. Even when it was just dialogue, they didn't swear this often. So I don't know what the incentivization for doing that was.
I mean, these kinds of, Amazon could have dipped into the script a little bit and been like, hey, punch these up in the ways that they want to hit the sort of demographic that they're going for. Because obviously they have the most in stake in this now because they've bought the show.
They bought out the streaming rights to it, so
yeah,
they kind of get them in a corner.
That's true.
Speaking of that, that was another big criticism I have is the sort of double-edged sword nature of what this started out as versus what it kind of is now. It started out as a for the fans type of 2-episode thing, and I feel like they are genuinely trying to hold to the nature of a for the fans kind of thing, where even though this is welcomed, like even though this is before the actual live stream started, they don't go too into detail about the characters' backstories because the fans knows those like bigger backstory aspects. And I actually looked up, let's see who it was. This feels like a very bad case of what Marshall McLuhan, I actually looked this guy up because I remembered this from our media studies college days, called The Medium is the Message. You remember this kind of stuff from media studies?
Yeah.
Basically, something is intrinsically changed about a work based on how it is told, not just what its stuff is inside of it.
Yes.
Looking at the show, I'm thinking to myself, fans will understand why this spell worked this way or why this attack didn't work, stuff like that, because it's based on a D&D game and you saw the roll kind of go poorly and so something bad happened, or the roll went unnaturally well and something big happened, so you don't mind it. People who don't know that aspect of D&D, how much the dice affect things, feels like they won't quite grasp a lot of the weirder things. Like, audiences these days, they think everything has a deeper meaning. Like, if you showed them some like big stupid guard, like and a character tries and like charms them, like a really like, you know, the default charmer tries to get in past them, and you see the guard just decide go, nope, can't do that. You're gonna immediately think, oh, this guard must be like a genius, or there must be something going on right here, something like that. It's like, no, it's just the guard rolled higher on his save than the player character did on their charm roll.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is a lot of those kinds of moments where something doesn't happen, or like there's a very minimal explanation for why an attack, like a gun jammed, or like they keep missing characters that are like 15 feet ahead of them, well within range and stuff like that. And the fans will know that's how it kind of goes in the game. They're trying to keep it general, like visually show off how a D&D combat would realistically go. Sometimes you do great, sometimes you fuck up. And it feels like there's going to be way too many people who aren't fans who will kind of look at that and just think it's bad writing, or like it's clunky combat writing, stuff like that. So I would say probably my biggest criticism of the show is a medium is the message kind of thing. You're intrinsically taking stuff from a tabletop role play game and putting it in a linear narrative. There's going to be a lot of stuff lost in translation, unfortunately.
That's just how it goes with these sort of things, I guess.
Yeah, it is what it is, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that was that. I don't know if anything caught your eye on that.
I mean, I've every now and again been thinking about trying to watch the show, because I always find watching, going back and watching like podcasts or streams like that, a little daunting, because the amount of time you have to put in to watch the whole thing, it is a lot. I will say the one factor that's been really pushing me is Gail Simone on Twitter talks endlessly about Critical Role and about this show. So she's really into it. And
they've had a lot of guest like voice actors on, or like guest creative types. I think they actually had the creator of the She-Ra reboot. She came on to be a guest for some one shot. I remember. I've never seen Gail Simone with them, but I mean, yeah, if she's a fan, they've got plenty of they've got plenty of industries who are like fans of the whole thing.
Yeah.
They also have Cyborg playing the Emperor, or Sovereign rather. So it's really fun hearing him.
That took me a second.
He also plays actually a couple of side characters, guest characters once or twice. So it's cool.
Yeah, and they have a bear.
Yeah, they do. Trinket.
That's all I know.
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
What about you? What have you been looking into these past couple months, weeks?
Well, I've actually had a request to talk about something, and I think I can talk about it really well. New Pokemon game dropped last month.
Yes, it did. Did a new Pokemon game drop?
Holy shit, is it different? Pokemon Legends, however you want to pronounce the god of Pokemon. I like Arceus. I know. I'm pretty sure Arceus is the correct pronunciation, but I prefer Arceus. I don't care.
Arceus is how I do it. I don't care.
I just prefer Arceus. I have not finished it. I have not put as much time into it. And I'll get into why I haven't once I finish talking about the game and my opinions on it. But I've put a decent amount of time into it. I've completed the first area. I'm in the middle of the second area. So I've gone through the first boss fight. It is a lot of fun. Like, I really love this idea of just running around and just chucking balls at monsters and trying to catch them. The absolute terror of accidentally running into an alpha Pokemon and having to run the fuck away. I
Alpha Snorlax
love
comes out of
that. That is
nowhere.
so much fun. It's the style is beautiful. I think it's a really great looking game. I know a lot of people were like insulting the graphics, and I'm like, you're stupid. This game looks great.
I here's the thing. I'm not a graphics like snob. I'm not someone who like says Final Fantasy VII is still the greatest game ever made and didn't need a reboot on its graphics. No, it did. The graphics were absolute dog shit. That being said, it's not the graphics. I don't think it's the graphics with this game. I think it's just the art style. That's been my kind of
It's
big
Pokemon's art style, but with a
it's
bit different
way
shading.
better. It's way better than some of the DS games have been, where like the animation on the character on the Pokemon are like, I still can't get over how some like I think in Gen 5 or Gen 6, like literally Pokemon would just hop in place, like they don't even have a jumping animation; they just hop around. It's like,
oh yeah,
you're seeing
most
this
things
is
don't have
better than yeah. I'll also say with Arceus, I have a number of friends who keep complaining that they think it's just like Breath of the Wild Pokemon Edition. Like they don't like it, and I lose respect for them honestly when to the ones who say that kind of stuff, because no, realistically, I've been wanting this Pokemon game since Gen 4 at least. Like this is the first time in a Pokemon game I have genuinely felt the things they talk about in Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Like they say, I have never felt like when an adult comes up to my player character in one of the Pokemon games, like, no, the big grass is dangerous. Don't go in there unless you have protection with a Pokemon. Go see the professor. I'm like, okay, genius. You whatever. You walk up to the professor getting chased by Zigzagoons or like fucking Pochianas, something like that, and you're just like, you absolute pussy. Then you play this, and it's like, oh no, a Poochyena, and you run away.
Oh god, it's a
because
Bidoof. Yelled at me.
I don't have any Pokemon. Get me away from this Bidoof. Like the grass is genuinely dangerous.
Actually, the grass is the safe spot. It's outside the grass that's the scary parts now, and I love that. I love how that is completely just 180'd. Like that's great design. Like I have not seen all of the new Pokemon that have been added. I think I've expressed my love for Hisui and Growlithe. Is just I love that thing.
Yeah,
it's so cute.
You love the thing.
I love Hisui and Zoroa. It's so cute and it's so sad because it's dead.
I love. Yeah, I will say. I will also say. I love the fact that like the good organization in this game is a precursor to an enemy team, like a confirmed enemy team we have later on. Like the Galactic group becoming Team Galactus, like, and I'm like, oh no, you gotta work with them. I'm like, yeah, no, this predates like Sinnoh even existing as a country, so not bad, I guess.
And they're colonialists.
Yeah, and yeah,
and it's an isekai.
Yeah, it's honestly it's been kind of also
literally in another world with your smartphone.
Yeah. Literally, I remember I watched a Circle Tunes HD cartoon on it. It's like, I'm God, but also a Pokemon for some reason. Here is a Blackberry. And
he upgrades your phone to a ridiculous size. Seriously, it's like
let's be real though. Let's be real. Having a phone in like feudal era any place would make you like a legendary hero. Like you have access to
honestly the one bit of immersion breaking is like you whip out your phone and everyone's just like, huh, what's that you got there? And no one's like, what is this sorcery you're holding in your hand? How can it do these things? Like, you know, I got it from God, no big deal. Like
yeah, that is
I have been quoting I have been saying this constantly, but and like every time someone asks me like, hey, how's the new Pokemon game, I always send them just a GIF from Blues Brothers of Dan Aykroyd saying, we're on a mission from God.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a great one.
That's just my experience with the game. I have a long way to go to completing it. I I think the crafting element is actually quite good because it's very unrestrictive. You can craft anything you want anywhere as long as you have the materials. But getting materials is super easy. Uh, Catching just as many Pokemon as you want in a session is a lot of fun. Uh, just that satisfying pop sound when you get a Pokemon. It's so good. The first boss battle is I think I broke it.
Really?
So
How did you do
basically
that?
so basically it's a big ass Cleavor, which is a new evolution of or an old evolution of Scizor now. Or not Scizor, of
Huh?
Scyther. And basically the arena has a big tree in the middle, and then there's just a big arena. And I basically ran to the other side of the tree and then just kept peeking out and throwing the item at it and then just
Hmm.
going around the tree and throwing it again and just like I didn't dodge any attacks during the fight. I was just using the tree as giant cover, and I think I broke the
I
AI
mean,
because it just
look,
stood there.
anything that'll get it done. If you get it done, all
It
you
was
need.
it was very entertaining though. It's very it's very funny. Hopefully the other boss fights will give you a lot less cover. I don't know how they
Yeah,
go.
I'd
I heard
imagine they
there's a
should.
fight with
'Cause,
an
like,
evolved form of Ursaring, which is insane.
that's
I don't know anything
terrifying.
about this.
That's
It's just a giant
terrifying.
ass bear, man. I don't know what to do. Run. I'm
Again,
looking forward.
like I said, so many of this game has been so good about making characters or Pokemon types that I was kind of about. I'm absolutely terrified of
Oh
them
yeah.
now.
Oh yeah. Paris is actually scary.
Yeah,
Paris is mean in this game. I don't know what the fuck. Why did they make Paris so aggressive? What the hell?
I mean, they need to find areas for them to like
Yeah,
uh, breed in these days. There are not that
I
many.
guess.
Yes,
Uh,
yeah, but
I find it interesting how many Pokemon are in the Hisui region that are not in the Sinnoh region in the normal
yeah,
decks. I find that interesting.
yeah. I don't know if that was an intentional thing or it's literally like
Extinction.
the last time they complained about taking Pokemon out of a like a game expressly, or like they took out like almost 500 Pokemon
Yeah.
or something like that from one generation to the next. People had an absolute shit show. So I think
The
they
balls on Game
in
Freak on this one. They didn't put fucking Charizard in this game. Damn.
yeah, that feels good. I'm not
Does
gonna
feel
lie,
good.
that actually feels great to finally not have
Yeah.
a game that's
Get out of here with your
obsessed with Charizard.
stupid overrated fire lizard. Get out of here.
The fire lizard. I like the water turtle. I don't like the fire
Water
lizard.
turtle better. Fire lizard's silly. So yeah, I have a shitload of this game left. I know like most of my friends beat it in like a week, but uh I actually work for a living. Uh not to
Here's
insult
the
them.
thing:
I'm
it's
joking.
not
I'm
even that it's
joking.
really a complicated game, but it's a game so many people have been wanting.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
But here's the thing. I would say I probably had enough time to have beaten it by now, but I've gotten addicted to Civilization 6.
It's a
Like
what now?
Civilization 6, it's
Right. You told me about that. You want to make a stream where you get a bunch of people
I
together to play.
I want so badly to stream that game on this channel. My computer cannot fucking run it and stream at the same time. It's just not gonna happen. Uh, and that makes me really sad. In literally about a month of playing, I've put over 60 hours in. Like, I.
That's a lot. That's a few days worth. That's more. That's quite a few. That's quite a lot.
It's a lot. I love it. It's so much fun. It is so it gets really weird, especially if you like really understand the historical aspects of the game. Like, I sent Mayans to the moon, man. It's the first thing I did. I had the Mayan Empire, and I was like, "I'm gonna send them to the moon, man. That's where they gotta go." I I I waged a holy war as Gaul against the fucking Kree. I've I became a trading empire as France in China
I
for
know.
the entire world, funding a war between Hungary and Japan. They were fighting each other, and I gave them both guns and horses. Like, and they still both loved me for it. I have been ass raped by Australia. Like,
Oh,
they, oh my
oh.
god, that game! I was so salty when that happened to me, but now
You
I
know,
think it's the
that's the thing
funniest
with those
thing.
games. Why I genuinely tend to not like them. It's all the build up, all the things you want, like all the less effort you get to. Then someone else over there you didn't even know just comes in and whacks your shit.
But like,
It's
if
just
you're
it.
building up properly, that's not gonna happen. This happened in the early game. Like, I spawned in, I had a great area. I was like, yes, that's awesome. I'm not gonna be super militaristic because I'm trying to be friendly with everyone and win by diplomacy. Australia walks up to me and they're like, "Good day, you want some horses?" And I was like, "I'd love some horses, Australia. That sounds really nice." And they're like, "Okay, open your borders." And I was like, "Okay, no big deal." And then 10 terms later, their armies had completely surrounded both my cities, and I was like, fuck." And then they're like, "Surprise, war." And then I died. So it
Yeah, no, I don't like
I
that
was
kind of thing.
mad as
Feels bad.
shit, but
I don't
like
like
I
it.
think it's funnier now. Uh I I just love it so much. It's so I think about it all the fucking time of all the things I want to try. Because there are so many civs I haven't tried. There are so many scenarios I haven't given a shot. I've only won by 2 methods so far. I'm trying to get my friends into it, and I'm trying to get a big stream going. Maybe next week on Games Dean's channel. It might be me and Games and one of my other friends. I don't know. Maybe we'll
Well, we can
see.
hope and we'll.
I really want to. I bought them the fucking game.
Okay, that's actually like that's the next tier desire.
Yeah,
Is
I well,
being like, I got you the game,
it
play
was
it.
literally 85% off. Like, I wouldn't have done it at the full price. 85% off. It was, you could buy the main game and most of the DLC for like $15. It's a good
Mm.
deal because when it's not on sale, it's like $130. Uh yeah, I enjoy Civilization. I really want to keep playing it. Trying to avoid starting a game this week because I need to finally finish reading Death on the Nile because I said I was gonna read the book before I saw the movie, and the movie came out 2 weeks ago. So
I
eh,
I've been seeing commercials on and off about for that thing, and
yeah, it's probably
sorry,
the most publicized movie of this early part of the year.
yeah,
I think
there's
most people
always
have heard
one.
of it.
January is usually a dumping ground for movies, except for like one
Yeah,
potential Oscar bait.
January was a dumping ground this year for sure. February has been fucking lit. There's been a lot of movies, and most of them pretty good.
Uh, and you would know about movies that were called to be very good because you had that stream where the Oscars watch guess
Yes,
gamble.
I got Ben on with me to talk about the Oscar noms again. Uh, I have watched one more of those films. So I've now seen 7 of the 10 Best Picture noms. I watched King Richard this week. I was wrong. It's not on HBO Max because I thought maybe for once Warner Brothers would do something that made sense, and I was
Nope.
wrong again. When
Yep.
will I learn? Fucking Warner
Never.
Brothers.
Never. Warner Brothers makes very,
Yeah.
very weird decisions. Just look at their superhero.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I found out that the movie was on DVD and Blu-ray, and it was only $3 more to buy the thing on Blu-ray than it was to rent the fucking thing. So bought it, I did. Watched it, I did, and it's long. It's only
long.
2 hours and 24 minutes, but
That's long.
it
That's like Lord of the Rings extended
yeah,
edition long.
it feels longer than it is too, which is not a good thing. It gets very repetitive in scenes. I really like the tennis. I think the tennis bits are great. Love watching the tennis bits. Not a huge fan of watching Venus and Serena Williams' dad just going to random people and be like, I want you to teach these people, my girls, for free. And they're just like, okay, why? Because they're really good. Okay. Like,
Just yeah.
yeah, I'm not going to lie, not a lot of story here. It's
Yeah.
shockingly little story for a 2 hour and 24-minute movie. Uh, and I will say, I think, and take this however you want as either a criticism or a compliment, it is probably the most, like, this is an Oscar nominated movie. Like,
I personally, I take that as criticism.
Yeah.
I take that as criticism, to be honest.
I go back and forth on that too. Yeah, it's like everything that I'm like, oh, that's a generic Oscar pick. Like, the Oscar's gonna pick that to be nominated. Absolutely, I can see that. It's a period piece. It's a drama. It has a happy ending. It's about black culture, which they always got to pick one every year, otherwise they get shit on.
I got to make sure Will Smith doesn't shame them again.
Not again. And like nothing about it is particularly like bad. Like, it works. It's just really slow, and I feel like some things are really repetitive. And there's certain bits that I really, really hope that Venus and Serena, like, told the writers this story, or like, no, you gotta include this detail, like, because if they didn't, boy howdy did they make their dad look real bad. Like, they kind of make him look like an absolute asshole. It's like not even funny. Like, these things better be true, otherwise this is kind of slanderous.
Yeah, it's defamation of character downright, but you can't really do that to a person unless they have an estate. So
I guess not. I mean, Venus and Serena, they definitely come out looking all like perfect. So
yeah, then I'd take it with a grain of salt if I was.
Yeah, I don't know. I have yet to hear anyone complain like say with Green Book.
Oh yeah, I remember Green Book. That was
Green Book. You know that movie that you liked until you looked up what the real people were like, and then you went, oh, that was all wrong. So
yes, that was
right. Whoops.
Oopsie doops.
Nothing kills a based on a true story movie faster than looking it up and finding that the real people or the families of the real people are like, this is bullshit. Nothing kills that story faster.
Here's the thing. It's especially when it's a movie that's trying to be all feel good and trying to be all like, hey, here's how these two groups in conflict can come together and like in brotherhood, and then it's just like, oh, that's not how that event happened. There was no like, it was not a buddy road trip between a great musician and like a rough and tumble taxi driver who like, or whatever his driving occupation was, who defended the black man in the deep south. That's not it.
But then you can't make a movie out of that. Then don't make the movie. Maybe don't.
Yeah, then don't make a movie. Make a better movie. Here's a great idea. It doesn't have to be based on true events.
Yeah, you could just tell the story.
Just
draw parallels from real life. I don't know.
You wish would happen.
I don't know. Like, maybe if you need to change a shitload of things about the story to apply with your message, maybe you shouldn't be telling the story. Because at that point, you're not.
Here's the thing. I think the only based on a true story, like Oscar nom, whatever, that I felt was worth the changes they made was the King's Speech. It's like the only time I've looked at a movie and thought to myself, Okay, yeah, that's not exactly the reality of the situation. Like, yeah, King Edward had fixed a lot of his stutters and had gotten very good with speeches well before the declaration of war. But I'm willing to suspend my disbelief that he was still suffering when the time came for war because it's still stressful, even if he had gotten masterful at it. It's
Yes.
still so making it his first officially good speech is it's appropriate. I'm willing to overlook those kinds of smaller faux pas. But when you're like completely changing the people involved in
Mm-hmm.
the story
Yeah.
and the events of the story, what's the point of saying it's based on a true story
There's no
anymore?
point in that point. It's just stupid. So yeah. But yeah, so that's 7 down, 3 to go, and I have no fucking clue how I'm gonna fucking watch those. Cause like, I thought you could be able to rent Licorice Pizza. Turns out you can't. Uh, Drive My Car is in select theaters, and Coda is an Apple TV Plus exclusive. So go fuck yourself.
These streaming things with their exclusivities are going to get worse. I can already tell.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Now
gonna get
that
worse before it gets better.
people now that COVID has made it so that people are way more willing to avoid cinemas and just look up streamings,
Yeah.
either we're gonna have to come up with some kind of weird like cinema streaming method where otherwise everyone's gonna have to have like 4 or 5 streaming services at the exact same time. It's
Yeah.
gonna go back to how like paying for basic cable used to be
Oh,
like.
absolutely. It basically already is. Um, I mean, that's why you're seeing a lot of companies like push against it. Like, there's a lot of like exclusively in theaters things now. Um, that's like when I saw Uncharted yesterday. Like, that was a pretty full theater because you can't see Uncharted anywhere else. Not that I would know why you would want to go and see Uncharted, but there you go.
Why would you want to go see Uncharted? Sonic is the only good video game movie that has ever existed.
Mortal Kombat 1995.
That doesn't count. That's
Yeah,
not a movie.
shut up.
That's a drug trip.
It's a good drug trip though. Uh, yeah, yeah. I don't have anything to say about the Uncharted movie. It's like okay.
I unfortunately have nothing to say about really any of these movies other than Dune. Dune is the only one of these I've actually seen.
Yeah, I don't know if I should maybe apologize for that thumbnail that I used. I don't hate Dune. I don't know why it was nominated for so many Oscars, but I don't hate Dune.
I don't hate Dune either. And even I'm gonna sit here and say, what is the point of like having it be nominated?
Yeah, because only a few people are gonna be like, "Yeah, Dune nominated for Academy Award." Like those people, like really generally don't care, and the people who you want to care are all screaming like, "Why isn't No Way Home nominated for Best Picture?" So it's like, yeah. And like I'm listening to the arguments of like why No Way Home should have been nominated for Best Picture, and it really boils down to just like it was the best selling picture of the year. And I'm just like, that doesn't mean it's the best.
It doesn't mean the same thing. Twilight would have been like nominated for an
Yeah.
Oscar if that's the case.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't mean it's good. Like, trust
Fucking
me, I'm a Spider-Man
Transformers would have
fan.
been nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, that we don't want to live in that timeline.
No, I'd really
Like,
rather not live
I'm
in
a
that
big
timeline.
Spider-Man fan. Even I'm gonna admit that saying No Way Home is an Oscar movie, not
Yeah.
quite. No, not
It's
really.
up for best visual effects, which it makes more sense than Shang-Chi being up there.
I could understand that. I honestly, yeah, I could understand that.
Yeah. Although speaking of the Oscars, I have I told you? Have you heard that I'm planning on streaming the entire ceremony?
No, you did not, in fact, bring
Oh,
this
okay.
up.
Yeah, I'm intending to stream for the entirety of the Oscars. Give live commentary and opinions on the whole thing. And I'm hoping people will join me. Would you join me, sir?
Well, I will listen in if I may. I do not know. Let me look up when the Oscars are actually happening. I might be working. It's the thing.
March
27th.
Yes.
I'll try and keep my schedule open on that. Oh, it's a Sunday. I might be
Yes.
able to join.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna start like before the ceremony starts to just be like, get into things. Then we'll probably go a little bit after it ends, because it usually ends on this coast at least like close to midnight, and I have work the next day, so probably not gonna go far after it ends, but we're hoping, and I'm hoping to get as many people as possible to chime in, so it is a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And obviously we're gonna be streaming the Oscars, but we're not gonna be streaming the Oscars. That's gonna be that's a
That
that's a
would be
takedown.
illegal.
that would get the channel taken down. But yeah, so no one's here, but I'm gonna keep saying it. We're gonna be streaming for quite a while on March 27th for the entire Oscars. Oscar watch along, let's call it that.
Yeah. Let's watch the Oscars.
So yeah, there's that. What else did I want to talk about? Fuck. I thought I had things that I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, I was gonna pitch a game to you. I might as well pitch it live.
Pitch a game?
Yeah. In a similar vein to our many guessing games that our the lovely people out there have watched so many times.
And still enjoy to this day. We're still getting comments. Still enjoy.
I do not understand. Some of those videos are getting are still on their way to 1 million views. I'm just like, why?
That's wild.
But okay. So we had those like real or fake One Piece names, and I don't know. I wasn't really satisfied with the second one, because I feel like I kind of like run out of like really good ones by then.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another part of One Piece that's like that is also really weirdly named, and that's the like locations. And I was wondering like if I could just like describe what happens at a location, a plot line that happens at a location, and then give you two options. And you have to pick which one is the right one, because both of them would be real. Both of them would be real places, but only one had that plot line happen there.
That would be a very good upping of the challenge.
Okay, so I have one like set up ready to go, just as like a demo to see how this goes. So do you wanna give it a shot?
Yeah, sure. We can go first round or give it a try right here.
So I only have the one, because I would really have to like write these down to like really.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically the plot line here, it is a minor plot line. The world government is trying to build a bridge between this long chain of islands, and they are using slave labor to build the bridge. After getting attacked at Shabody and the Straw Hat Pirates are all separated, Nico Robin ends up at this bridge, and has to help fight off the guards, and eventually joins up with the Revolutionary Army to go meet with Luffy's dad, Dragon. So this is a real plot line.
Yes.
Is this Tequila Wolf or Alabasta?
Kill a wolf or Alabasta?
Tequila, like the drink.
Oh.
These are both real locations, and that is a real plot line.
Alabasta.
This is actually Tequila Wolf.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Alabasta is the desert country which Sir Crocodile takes over in one of the early arcs after hitting the Grand Line.
Okay, then.
Yeah, so that's not bad. I don't know if we can do like a whole video about that, but like maybe
I can totally see that being a good thing to do.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll workshop that. I'll make it a little cleaner, because I didn't write enough down there to really do it. All I know is I really wanted to say Tequila Wolf. Yeah. So we might do that. I have a lot of like big ideas that I want to do this year. I don't know if I have the time or the money to do it. So So I'll get this out of the way. Yeah, I'm still working on Doom Patrol season 3 in a nutshell. I
Wow.
still want to do it, but like
You told me
I'm
about that like months ago, and I was like,
yeah.
I guess like life got in the way
Season
because
3 ended. Uh, Season 2 was way easier to just like quickly summarize. The plot line was a lot simpler, and the characters were a lot easier to replicate with a budget of $0. Season 3
it
is a lot bigger.
has a lot more of a budget.
It is the character models are a lot more complex. The storylines are a lot more intertwining and a lot more complicated and uh a lot more difficult to parody. Um like it has been really difficult. I don't have a script really. I just still have just ideas of how to do it. I haven't even like watched the final episode because I'm still like just trying to figure out how to do it. Uh but I still intend to do that this year.
Mm.
Um I've started rewatching Once Upon a Time again cuz
Yeah,
that is my ultimate like comfort zone. Just like like, just put on Once Upon a Time. That always makes me feel good. Um I want to do like John, have you seen Unraveled?
I've heard
I
of
know it's
it.
dead, but like
Yeah, I've heard of it, but like,
yeah.
no, no, I've never actually sat down and
I I
looked.
I recommend it. I think it is probably the only good thing that Polygon has ever done. And it's all because they hired the best possible host. Brian David Gilbert is one of the funniest people on the internet and is a great editor. And his work is just absolutely amazing. I highly recommend checking it out.
I swore off Polygon. I don't know how many years ago, but I'll give it a shot if it's the best thing on the platform. So
Yeah,
I
it's
just
the best
know
thing they have ever
there's
done.
nowhere to go to
He is
town after that.
he is he is funny. Once he left, I completely unsubscribed because there was no reason to stay with him. His personal channel has some of the best stuff on the internet, like period. Uh, he is absolutely hysterical, and basically the setup for Unraveled is just like gonna make like video game lore as complicated as possible. He's gonna simplify it, and he goes insane in the process because it's not possible to simplify that shit. I want to do something similar with the Once Upon a Time family tree. Because if
Mhm.
you're even remotely familiar with the show, half of the characters are related to each other in some way, shape, or
Yeah,
form. That
that's
tree is
awkward.
monstrous. So I really want to do that. I've wanted to do that for a very long time. I intend to give it a shot. Um, so I mentioned this the last time we streamed, which was back in November. I did end up going to Anime NYC, and I mean, obviously no one recognized me because
Mhm.
you you would have heard about it. It would have been on the channel if I had like someone be like, "Oh my god, you're that guy." But obviously no, it did not happen. I mean, for many reasons, probably because no one knows who I am. And
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
even if I was like wanted someone to do it, I'm way too shy to like do that kind of thing. They'd be like, "Hey, it's me, the guy from that thing that you might have heard of." Like, no, I don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm not.
I I don't.
I'd be way too terrified of
I don't
looking
have
like
that
one of those.
confidence. I wanted to
No,
like meet
no,
people at
no.
that con. I like had a full conversation with like 4 people out of literally thousands of people that were there. Uh, oops. So, but though I will say I had a great time at that con. I really want to go again. I want to go again, and I want to film there. I want to do a video. I want to, the thing that people want to see. They want to see people guessing stands. You know what? I want to see if the people can guess the stands. I want to go out there.
So you want to see randos now
Yeah.
guessing the stand.
So I'm gonna look into what that would cost in order to do it, because I assume you need to get like a press pass or some shit to like bring camera equipment in, and obviously renting camera equipment is gonna cost money. Although I could probably convince one of my friends to just be the camera person, so I'd have free crew at least. Yeah, I intend to try that. I'm gonna go to PAX East this year. End of statement, I guess. I'm gonna go to PAX. I want to go to PAX. Like, that's all. That's
Yeah.
It's not that I really know what I would do there. I just want to dick around at PAX. So I think this is probably the big one, and I definitely discussed this with you last year, very very briefly, but like I've been talking about it with my my supervisor, who's a good friend of mine, because he's into this stuff too. I want to do an audio drama, a JoJo's audio drama. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do it. I don't know who the fuck I could convince to help me do it.
I'd be on board.
I want to do it.
I'd be on board.
I want to do an original story set in the JoJo's universe. But my problem right now is I'm conflicted about which one to do, and I'm like, in my brain, I'm just like, do both, and I'm just like, and I know that if I try to do both, it's gonna fail because I'm gonna try to do too much.
Do the easier one, and then if it works out very well, do the more difficult one.
But like, in my head, I've already like blended the two together, so I'll see how it goes. But basically, I know this is probably like, okay, so I had an idea, all right. I want, how do I put this? So Passion, right, as an organization,
yeah,
we really don't like understand it. It's not really well explained.
It's just just vaguely.
It's
generally
just the mob. They control
fine.
everything. But like, what if? Because the rising of Passion coincides weirdly enough with the severe decline in the 5 families of New York, because the Passion rising to power matches up almost perfectly with the huge RICO case that got a bunch of the big bosses of the 5 bosses off the streets for a while. What if one of those families turned to help from the old country? And what if that help from the old country came from Passion? And what if Diavolo was using that as a way to spread his roots into America and start an American branch of Passion? And what if that branch grew so strong that even when Diavolo died and Giorno took over, it was its own thing, separate enough from the main branch that it could stay alive? What if Giorno tried to kill it?
Oh no!
All I want is some insane Stan user in New York to be able to go toe to toe with Gold Experience Requiem, and somehow for it not to be stupid. I don't know how,
okay. So
but that's a goal.
You need to figure out how to make a stand that would be dangerous.
Yeah. So,
Gold Experience Requiem.
So I have other ideas. Like, all right, so I wanted the main character, the JoJo of my storyline, to one, be a bastard son of the head of one of the families, right? So
yeah,
so he's of the family. He's a made guy, but he's a bastard, so he's never gonna get very far in life.
He's not full-blooded Italian. Yeah. He's a good fella. He's a good fella. He's not going to be.
He's one of them, but he's not like one of them. And I was wondering like who his dad could be, and obviously like the first, like obviously Dio is the easy way out, right? Like,
yeah, obviously
that's the easy solution, and there's nothing wrong with that. More Dio kids make sense with the amount of women that he's seen just around. Like, there's nothing illogical about that.
He's seeded almost a dozen canonical kids.
But I'm also saying, there's nothing wrong with another bastard of Joseph. Because,
Someone else
come
in
on,
his will, or someone who was
he
so
only had
bad he
sex with
doesn't get
one other woman besides his wife? Just one? Are we sure about that?
Mm,
You couldn't prove it.
but couldn't prove it. Oh, I mean, here's the thing. It would make sense because the mother would be Italian, so she'd
Yeah.
like probably maybe it's early signs of his dementia. And confused a young Italian girl for young Susie Q.
Oh, Susie, you're so young. My name is Louisa? Same difference.
She doesn't care. It's a millionaire with the body of a fridge. She's gonna like pound that while she can.
You could say anything and it'll work. Yeah, so I'm going back and forth. Like, I had an idea of doing that and also having another Joestar descendant being like a detective. Cause like so I wanted both of them because so one would be a child of Dio and one would be a child of Joseph, but flip the script and the child of Joseph is the fucking evil one, the true like
You like
the
to
true
see that? Yeah,
antagonist.
yeah.
Again, I don't know if that may be too far, but so I again it could be that it's the son of a mobster, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or just have nothing to do with the mob and have the protagonist be a private detective. Because again, going back to the roots of audio dramas, that would
Yeah,
be
Dick Tracy and all that.
a dick type character. Because
Private
I want to
Dick
do that too.
going.
I want like a detective character who's like, you know, he's outside the law, but like, you know, able to deal with stand problems because they have a stand, you know, that kind of shit. Uh, so I don't have everything like fully put together. Like, there's obviously a lot I have to think about, but especially like
Yeah,
how to fucking do it. But I have like moments in my head that I want to do. Uh, like I want Giorno to send Guido Mista into New York, and I want him to just be assassinating people left and right.
uh,
Like, I want bodies to just drop out of nowhere. People be like, "Where did he get shot from?" And it's just Mista just walking away. I want Mista with a Tommy gun. That's what I want.
you want the. Here's a. Oh wait, would that be Sex Pistols Requiem? He has so many like sentient bullets now that he can. He doesn't need a revolver. He just fires from a drum, and they
Honestly,
can manage it.
I just think that like Sex Pistols working with a Tommy gun could still work because they'll just he fires it in a huge burst and they just kick the burst between each other, so it's just like a insane loop of things. Again, we're talking about an audio medium here, so
Yeah.
how to convey that audio wise is going to be a little tough.
I mean, there were a couple scenes where like they slowed down the perspective so you could hear the Sex Pistols talking to one another as they kicked the bullets. Or
That's
hell,
true.
have the narrator show up, like
Yeah, the
have a
narrator
small
is going to have
sound.
to be really big. And that's why, again, like having the main character be a private detective, you know, that kind of thing. You know, you always have that, like, and then she came in through the bathroom window, she was lit a cigarette for me, like that kind of shit.
Yeah,
That kind of like melodramatic narrating. Like, I want that for sure from my main character. Uh, so, like, to have another narrator on top of that sounds a little weird, but then again, that's a JoJo's tradition, like to have that narrator just pop in and say things that just to explain stuff.
yeah.
So maybe that could work. I have a few stand ideas. I want the like leader of the American Passion. By the way, the title, no matter what I do, I have not changed the title since I've come up with this idea. The title is American Passion.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so the head of the American branch of Passion, I want his stand to be called Heart Shaped Box, and I want it to literally be a box that looks like a heart, like an anatomically correct heart. And when you open it, it sucks your soul inside of it, and you become just a walking like puppet for the user.
That's a good. That's a reminds me of who was that guy with the stupid haircut? Looked like Mo. Looked like Mo from Three Stooges from Part Four. He made like a Josuke puppet out of his stand.
Oh,
Like
yeah, the guy, this Surface is what you're talking about. I forgot the
yeah,
guy's name.
yeah. Reminds me of that. Reminds me of that.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, but like mimicked people. Like this is just like
That's
your
what it
body's just
just
under control of
rolls.
someone else while your soul is trapped in a labyrinth kind of situation.
Yeah.
I'm sure I got that from somewhere, and I'm just forgetting where I got inspired by that. I want a stand that literally its power is to melt bodies. Because it's the mob we're talking about. I want a stand user who's just like his job is just like he gets sent dead bodies and they're like, okay, get rid of it, and his stand pops out and just dissolves it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call that, but I've had that idea for a while. Yeah, there's a lot of I have a lot of like small ideas, and I really need to get them together. Unfortunately, I'm in a situation where I really want to do so many things, and I both is
It's
too many things, and I
much
also
at
don't know
once.
how to do any of them, so I'm overwhelming myself. So I'm not doing anything. I'm really gonna try to commit to like one thing this summer and like really just hammer it out. Will it be Doom Patrol? I don't know. It might be this audio drama. I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna see how many people I can get on board with this. I can see if I can get some people to do some music for me, because like that's really important for an audio drama. Getting good music.
Yeah, you have to have the right because it's gonna last throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta fit.
I'd also, it'd be nice to get like an artist to like have to like make to like draw up these stands to like just
Yeah.
have them nearby, like because again, just describing them with audio is gonna be a little difficult. There's gonna be a lot of stands with some weird
on
cries.
par with a novel. It's gonna be on par with novel work.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna get on that. I think that's the thing I'm like really fired up about. I think that's what I'm gonna focus on. So I'm gonna start writing that. Let's make a goal for this week. I'm gonna start writing that, and then we'll see where it goes. Excuse me. See where it goes from there.
Yeah.
Thinking, is there anything else? I stupidly have not been watching Peacemaker. I really should.
I have. It's been pretty. It's been hilarious.
I really need to watch that. I loved the Suicide Squad. I really need to watch the spinoff.
I'll be honest, John Cena. I was not expecting John Cena to be such a good comedic actor in this kind of
really
like context. He's very, very good.
He is amazing. I now have respect for John Cena as an actor. I never thought I'd be able to say that.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. Literally, like before this, the only thing I saw him in was the Fred movie.
Oh God, yes.
So, like, what
I saw him in his. I don't want to say like leading debut, but he made a movie called Blockers.
I don't remember that.
Well, okay, its full title was A Picture of a Chicken, and then Blockers, because Cock Blockers is the title of the movie.
Okay, I got it.
And like, it's not a great movie, but it is a little funny. Like it is. It certainly doesn't. It's certainly not bad.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time since I saw that movie. I saw that in the theaters when it came out. I had something in mind. I swear. Hold on, let me think. No. It was like a recent thing.
Oh no, we're losing the scripts.
Nah, my brain is lost. Well, someone asked me because I said during the Oscar nom live stream that I wanted to do a video on Raya and the Last Dragon. Someone said that they would watch it, so now that someone said they would watch it, I'm like kind of like, oh, maybe I should make that video. Maybe I should finally do that. That idea that I had a year ago when the movie came out.
It's on brand to be late for this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, also because now that it's a year later, like I can more easily find clips to use. I'm literally more afraid to use clips from Warner Brothers than use clips from
Yeah.
Disney. Like, did you hear how fucking bad the Warner Brothers copyright bots are? They flagged their own website. I'm dead serious.
I,
They actually did
I
that.
didn't know. I did not hear about this.
The Warner Brothers copyright bot flagged a Warner Brothers website for copyright reasons.
Boy.
Like, that's how bad it's gotten. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know how the fuck you mess up that badly. But goddamn. I was gonna say follow me on Master Duel, but like I don't play Master Duel. I mean I have it, but I like don't touch it really.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate reality of this.
Yeah.
This cultural just we're stuck with so much product.
That's true.
Not enough time to do it all.
This year is like, in terms of video games, it's like threatening to empty my bank account. Like,
It's scary.
we're gonna get Gotham Knights this year. We're gonna get a new 3D Kirby game this year. It looks amazing.
Everyone's so prepared for that. The eating the car meme.
I want to eat
just
the car.
I
want to eat the vending machine and just shoot cans. I want to do it. Portal is coming to Switch, which is great because my PS3 just crapped out on me and it basically nothing works properly. What the fuck was it? Damn it. Damn it. What was I thinking? I'm losing my fucking mind, John.
You're losing it.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Yeah. All right, I know what to end on. I know what's the highest note I could possibly end on. So, do you remember like a year and a half ago? I explained to you the entire plot of a movie called Bonji Bear.
Yes, you did. No, oh, I remember. Bonji Bear is now available.
Bonji Bear is now available on Apple TV, YouTube, Amazon Prime Video, and other things. Go watch Bonji Bear.
Go watch Bonji Bear.
Understand why it's my religion. Oh, actually, something a bit more interesting to end on. And this is tying back to Anime NYC. I've gotten real into Lupin the Third.
Lupin, I have not heard of that one.
Oh, okay. So Lupin the Third is a really long-running Japanese franchise. The anime has been going on for 50 years. It is basically, so Lupin the Third. He is a thief. He is the world's best thief, and he and his posse they go around and they figure out what to steal, and they get into hijinks and misadventures, and Lupin's on again off again love interest Fujiko sometimes screws them over, sometimes helps them out. They're constantly being hunted by the international police. They're not quite like Robin Hood thieves because they keep what they steal and they make money off of it. But
I mean, hey, they're technically giving to the needy. They need food and money.
They need food. But they do more often than not like halt evil people's plans for world domination and shit. Like they sort of usually just stumble into shit and it's just like, I'm gonna steal that from you. You don't need that. That's a bad thing to have. I don't know if I'm really doing it justice. It's just a really, it's a show with a lot of chemistry between the characters. That's a lot of fun. Is a lot of varying different styles of animation that have been used because it's been going on since forever. And it's still going. The part 6 of the anime is, I think, still airing. I saw at Anime NYC the premiere of the dub of the 27th special, I want to say. There's a shitload of movies. Probably the most famous one is The Castle of Cagliostro, which is directed by Hayao Miyazaki. There was a CG movie that came out about 2 years ago that is also really good. It's called The First, but trust me, it's not a very good place to start. It really requires you to like know who these people are.
Calm down.
Yeah, but it is the best Indiana Jones movie I've ever seen. They fight Nazis, is what I'm trying to say.
Ah, I get it now.
It's
Oh,
just a
Indiana
franchise.
Jones don't even fight Nazis no more. He fights the Soviets.
Yeah, he fights the Soviets and old age. Uh, it's just a franchise that can basically take place at any time and anywhere because there's no continuity. And
Yeah.
that's good because that was the creator's last wish before he died. That
Oh, good for them.
Lupin can adventure whenever and wherever he wishes. It's like, okay, cool. Cause yeah, like literally releasing the same year, Lupin the Third, the first, take place right after World War II with the Nazis like trying to regain their superiority with an evil ancient doomsday weapon, that kind of fun stuff. And then there was another one, which is the one that I saw. It's Prison of the Past, which takes place in present day. Like those were both released the same year. Like they have technology, they have fucking computers, they use satellites and GPS tracking. It's like, oh, that's cool. So, yeah, I'm out of steam.
Oh, you getting tired? It is
Yeah.
late where you is. It's getting sundown right there.
It's only like 7:00. I also haven't eaten today, so like I'm starting to feel
It could
hungry
also
too.
be it. You could also be very hungry.
That could be it. There's no one here. Those last 3 comments are weird. I don't know what to
I
make
think
of
those
this.
are Russian bots.
One of
Pretty
them
sure those
is
are
in Russian. Like I don't know what the fuck. Are
I'm
they
pretty sure
links? Because they're
Russian troll
dots
bots
something.
pop in on streams every now and then.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah. So to anyone who is possibly watching this in the future, because no one's here now, I have big plans for this year. We'll see if I get around to doing them.
Yes.
The next confirmed thing you'll know from me is March 27th. I will 100% be streaming basically all night. I will be drinking, probably heavily if Power of the Dog wins more than one thing.
Got a drink.
I will be drowning my sorrows. I'm gonna pour one out for The Green Knight. I got nominated for fucking nothing.
Same.
Same.
You loved that movie.
I love that movie. It's so good. Oh my god, I'm gonna rewatch
Love
it
the old
again.
Arthurian love times.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely look out for that. This summer, I'm gonna work on something big this summer, no matter what. Whether it's Doom Patrol Season 3 in a nutshell or this weird JoJo's audio drama, something big will happen by the fall. Something big will be on this channel by the fall. Will anyone watch it? I don't know. I've lost a few subscribers recently, so I don't know if anyone's watching.
Who knows? We're still
don't
over
know.
like 9,000. It's still over 9,000.
It's still over 9,000. It's good enough. But it's not 9.4 anymore. It went down again. I do nothing for 3 months and I get an influx of subscribers. I start doing things again and I start losing stuff. That's the joke.
It's the joke.
Yeah, that concludes the joke. So yeah, so look forward to things. Things will happen. I'm saying this now and vague enough, so it's not a good promise. No one can say I promised too much because I just said that a thing will happen. Oh god, I'm setting myself up for failure again. It's okay. So yeah, rambles. I think we're done. I don't think we have anything more to say. Do you?
I'm good. I'm all out of things I had
Cool.
action for.
All right, cool. All right, well then we're gonna go. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, good. I waited until you said bye to end the stream.